Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, on va étudier l'adverbe en français. Today we're going to study adverbs in French. Définition de l'adverbe. L'adverbe apporte une information supplémentaire au sens d'un verbe. Par exemple, il mange beaucoup. Il, c'est un pronom. Mange, c'est un verbe. Beaucoup. Comment est-ce qu'il mange? If we can ask the question how does he eat? In that sentence, beaucoup is the adverb. Aussi, l'adverbe apporte une information supplémentaire au sens d'un adjectif. So, here's an example with another adjective. Il est très grand. Il est très grand. Il est comment? Il est très grand. What's he like? He's not just tall, he's very tall. Très is an adverb. Ok, aussi, l'adverbe apporte une information supplémentaire au sens d'un autre adverbe. Il boit très lentement. Okay, here we have two adverbs, très et lentement. He drinks very slowly. So here it modifies another adverb, an autre adverbe. D'une phrase tout entière, it can also just modify the entire sentence. Naturellement, il se lave tous les jours. In this case, naturellement, naturally, is your adverb. L'adverbe est invariable. Okay, here's a quote from the court-métrage that we watched. Eh bien, elle peut descendre discrètement à la station suivante. So she can get off discreetly at the following station, at the next station. And so the word discrètement modifies the verb descendre. How will she get off? She will get off discreetly. So let's look at how we're going to form these adverbes. Formation des adverbes. To form an adverb from an adjective whose masculine singular form ends in a consonant, add the ending ment to the adjective's feminine singular form. So you take the feminine singular form of an adjective and you add ment. If the masculine singular adjective ends in a vowel, simply add the ending ment to that form. Let's look at some. Absolu. Absolu means absolute. It ends in a U. It is a vowel, so we just add ment. Absolument. Absolument. Now doux. Doux ends in a consonant, so we take the feminine form douce and we add ment. Doucement. That means gently, softly, sweetly. Franc ends in a consonant, so we take the feminine form franche and we add ment. Franchement, frankly, honestly. Naturel, we take the feminine form, double that L, add an E. Naturellement, naturally. Poli ends in a vowel, so we just add the ment. Poliment. That is how we form all regular adverbs. Now, if the masculine singular form of an adjective ends in ant or ent, we're going to replace the ending ant or ent with amment or ement. It is pronounced exactly the same, aimant. So look at this. Brillant, which is noisy. Brillamment is noisily. Constant becomes constamment. Évident becomes évidemment. Patient becomes patiemment. An exception to this rule is the adjective lent, which means slow, whose corresponding adverb is lentement. A limited number of adverbs are formed by adding aimant to the masculine singular form of the adjective. If this form of the adjective ends in a silent E, drop it before adding the suffix aimant. So, confus becomes, the feminine form is confuse, so we get confusément, confusedly. Énorme, it ends in an E, énormément. Précise, précisément. Profonde, profondément. So you have to memorize these as being irregular. They get the aigu and we say the A It's not amant, but aimant. A few adverbs like bien, gentiment, mal, and mieux are entirely irregular. Bien, of course you know, means well. Gentiment is nicely, cordially. Mal is bad. Mieux is better or best. Instead of saying meilleur, the adverb is mieux. And then bref, which means brief, you take the feminine form brève, but for some reason in French they add an I in that first syllable, so it becomes brièvement. It's derived from brève, but it is irregular. Categories of adverbs. The most common adverbs can be grouped by category. A lot of them are time words. Alors, aujourd'hui, bientôt, d'abord, de temps en temps, déjà, demain, encore, enfin, ensuite, hier, jamais, maintenant, parfois, quelquefois, rarement, souvent, tard, tôt, and toujours. If you do not know what some of those words mean, you should make sure that you write them down to ask what they mean or look them up. Some adjectives describe the manner in which something occurs. Ainsi, bien, donc, en général, lentement, mal, soudain, surtout, très, vite. Opinion, some things are just an opinion. Heureusement. Now I know heureux means happily, but generally, and malheureusement would be unhappily, but usually we say fortunately and unfortunately for those words. Peut-être, probablement, and sans doute. Some are about place. Dedans, dehors, ici, là, là-bas, nulle part, partout, quelque part. And then we have quantity. Assez, autant, beaucoup, peu, trop, all quantity words, all adverbs. Position des adverbes. In the case of a simple tense, present indicative, imparfait, future, conditionnel, things that we have one word for the tense. An adverb immediately follows the verb it modifies. So we have things like Gérard s'arrête toujours au centre-ville. Il attend patiemment au feu. Okay? However, of course, we have some tenses like the passé composé that have more than one word in the verb. However, in the passé composé, shorter common adverbs are before the past participle and after the helping verb. Same thing would be true if we were doing other compound tenses such as the plus que parfait. Let's look at one. Nous sommes déjà arrivés à la gare. We already arrived at the train station. Déjà, we say it first, we already arrived. They say, nous sommes déjà arrivés. Okay? For longer ones, we're going to place it after the participle. Let's look at one. Il a conduit prudemment. He drove prudently. He drove carefully, we would say. Okay, now we have a common one here. Vraiment means really. Vous avez vraiment compris ces indications? Again, it goes after the helping verb and before the participle. Tu t'es levé régulièrement à 6 heures? You got up regularly at 6 o'clock. Okay, now this is odd because it's kind of a contradictory word to use régulièrement with the passé composé. This sentence could happen, but it would be a rarity. In negative sentences, the adverbs peut-être, sans doute, and probablement usually precede pas. So we have elle n'a peut-être pas lu ton email. She probably did not read or has not read your email. There it came before pas. But they give you the first example. They give you elle n'est pas souvent chez elle. She's not often at home. Is after. Souvent is after. So in a negative sentence, usually the adverbs peut-être, sans doute, probablement are going to precede pas, but the others will come after. Common adverbs of time and place typically follow the past participle. Elle a commencé tôt ses devoirs. She started her homework early. Nous ne sommes pas descendus ici. We didn't get off here. And so they go at the end after the participle. There are a few expressions in French where the adjective functions as an adverb, and therefore it is invariable. In other words, it looks like an adjective, but it functions as an adverb. So for example, if something costs a lot, ça coûte cher. Okay, so we do not change the word cher to it costs a lotly. That would be the MENT essentially works like the LY. And so these are a few that don't do that. Parler bas ou parler fort. Je parle bas, je parle fort. I speak loud, I speak softly. We don't change those words. To smell good or to smell bad, they do in fact use good and bad as adverbs. Ça sent bon, ça sent mauvais. It smells bad. We don't want to say ça sent mauvais, ça sent mal, because that means really it smells badly. So il sent mal, he smells poorly, in other words. Un travail dur, to work hard, il travaille dur, he works hard, je travaille dur. It does not change. We do not change that word dur to hardly. We keep it hard. Same as in English. Okay, so make sure that you have notes on all of these adverbs, et je vous verrai en classe demain. Nous allons faire des projets, des exercices avec ces adverbes. Merci beaucoup et à demain.